While his policies and priorities were welcomed by the great majority, sectors of society identified with the elite, the entrenched, the powerful, did not. Few perhaps, but strong in clout. These were the enemies he created in his uncompromising pursuit of his mandate to always choose the greater good for the greatest number. The conspiracy shifted into full gear, with trumped-up impeachment charges railroaded against him. Like all good leaders, he allowed the legal process to take its course. During the course of the impeachment hearings that were going nowhere, the opposition at the time alleged that incriminating evidence was contained in the second envelope, which was at the center of controversy of the trial. When the majority of the senator judges voted to exclude the second envelope, correctly because it was not part of the formal complaint,
the no votes have it.
The prosecutors walked out like sore losers, thus halting the impeachment trial. It was a signal for the conspiracy to close its ranks and marshal all its resources in the military, the church, business, and media to clinch the ouster. It did so. And to avoid violence and bloodshed, he quietly moved out of Malacanang. But he never once suggested that he intended to resign.
We have to proceed to EDSA to administer the oath on the Vice President as acting President.
In all humility, I accept the privilege and responsibility to act as President.
As acting President.
To act as President.
In the ensuing confusion, the conspiracy swore Gloria Arroyo into office against all tenets of the Constitution. The Constitution provides that a sitting president can be replaced only if he resigns, dies, is incapacitated, or is impeached. Not one of these four conditions existed when the leader of the masses was unceremoniously ousted. Later, in a dinner hosted by her co-conspirators in the Council for Philippine Affairs, or COPA, Arroyo paid tribute to those who helped make the power grab possible.
Maybe I should tell my version of some of the untold stories, especially with regard to the military. And now that it can be told, I think I should mention who they are. That group that I was meeting with since January was made up of General Larry Mendoza and Colonel C.P. Garcia and retired General Rio. Art Carillo, and he's right there. General Espinosa, whom everybody knows is my dear friend, and Spine is there too. General Braganza. And actually, Boyce is another friend of mine.
Legal luminaries and international community condemned the ouster. Among others, Supreme Court Justice Cecilia Munoz Palma said, "The 1987 Constitution suffered. This happened when the ongoing impeachment trial of President Joseph Estrada was unceremoniously disrupted and discontinued, and the issue on hand were brought to the Parliament of the streets. The rule of law was set aside, and the rule of force prevailed." Writing for the International Herald Tribune, Philip Bowering said, "Far from being victory for democracy that is being claimed by leaders of the anti-Estrada movement, such as Jaime Cardinal Sin, The evolution of events has been a defeat for due process. An Asia Time editorial read, "Again, therefore, whatever curious legal construction anyone may now attempt to put on the ouster of Estrada, he was ousted by a military coup, with the connivance of the leadership of the Roman Catholic Church and major business groups. One loser among the coup makers will be the Archbishop of Manila, Jaime Cardinal Sin, and his church." Even the highly respected Lee Kuan Yew, interviewed by the Straits Times, weighed in with his thoughts. The change of power in the Philippines was no boost for democracy, because it was done outside the Constitution. Now it appears that even the Holy Father in Rome was against the interference in the illegal ouster. Barely a month after, the sealed second envelope was opened before the public on national television, revealing the owner of the controversial bank account to be businessman Jaime de Chavez and not the persecuted leader. The conspiracy next resorted to blackmail and bribes in attempts to block an Estrada return and secure Arroyo's legitimacy. A Malacanang emissary in the person of Justice Secretary Hernando Perez offered, first, a graceful exit in exchange for a signed resignation letter.
"I will not resign."
And second, at a later date, a quiet backdoor exit with assurances he may take any of his assets with him and no charges will be made.
Nung ako isang buwan pa naman nakakababa, inutusan yung Secretary of Justice. Nakausapin ako, pwede akong umalis ng bansa, walang kasong ipapile sa akin. Kahit na ano, pwede kong dalhin, kung ano gusto kong dalhin. Mamili akong bansa pupuntahan, walang kaso sa akin.
Knowing truth was on his side, Estrada rejected Malacanang's offers.
Yung milyong-milyong masang Pilipino na bumoto sa akin, nagtiwala sa akin, hindi ko maaaring talikuran, hindi ko maaaring iwan. Kahit na anong gawin niyo sa akin, hindi ako natakot. Kahit na ikulong niyo ako, hindi ako alis.
The conspiracy responded then with a filing of 18 charges against him, later modified into a non-bailable plunder case. Arrested in shamefully public circumstances with thousands of police in attendance, outraged Filipinos who witnessed the spectacle converged at the EDSA shrine in an unprecedented mass action. Yet against all consideration for their human rights, the hundreds of thousands of innocent Filipinos who took part in this action were mercilessly and violently dispersed.